Welcome to LeadHerShip CEOs. You are here because you were made for more. Be a CEO, a creator of expansive opportunities. My name is Michelle Shutter, and I have a simple question for you today. How will you lead your ship? Because without a doubt, you were made for more, period. Fly your ship and let's get started. Welcome to this week's episode entitled, When Resistance Calls, Do You Answer the Call? Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your day, a part of your personal growth, a part of your expansion. I am truly, truly honored. But more importantly, I want to acknowledge you for showing up, for listening, for viewing, so that you can really take this information, do the work, and really become a CEO, a creator of expansive opportunities. Because after all, if you can't lead your ship, you can't lead any ship. So again, welcome to LeadHerShip CEOs. Now, if you haven't listened to a podcast before, or if you haven't seen one of my videos, my name is Michelle Shutter, and I love to support heart-centered women just like you in really challenging the modern conditioned style of life so that you can take your vision, any size, big, little, medium, and really create expansive opportunities in all areas of your life. Because I know without a doubt, you know that deep in your soul, you were made for more, period. So again, welcome, whether you are listening or viewing, thank you so much for being here. So this week's episode is, When Resistance Calls, Do You Answer the Call? Now, before I get into that, I want you to know that when resistance does show up, it's a good thing. It's a good thing because it is really starting to expand you. You're starting to change. You're starting to evolve. It's showing up so that you can begin to stretch yourself outside of that comfort zone. And here's what I want you to know before I dive into this content is that it's never too late. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young you are. I don't care if what month it is. I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care how much money you have or don't have. It is never too late. Okay? So here's what I want you to do though. As I start to release more episodes, I want you to really just to challenge me in a sense, not from an ego mind, but just challenge the content to see what comes up, what resonates with you. Really tap into that heart-centered place and allow yourself to explore the different things that come up for you. Because here's what we know. The baggage that we carry around, the limiting beliefs, the insecurities, the low vibrational energy levels, like we have to bring them up on stage and we got to shine the spotlight on it. Now, that doesn't mean we do this in a full auditorium. It just means that you do it while you're sitting in the front row. Expose that light to it so that you can do the work around it. Transform that energy and transcend it in a way that now allows you to really tap into a space, tap into an energy level that serves you at a deeper, more purposeful level that is connected to the essence of who you truly are. So I want you to think about, let's get back into this topic of when resistance calls, do you answer the call? Well, I want you to think about a goal that you set perhaps for this year. Maybe it was like all the way back in January. Maybe it was 90 days ago, 6 months ago, whatever it is. Perhaps you're at a point now where you need to redo that goal, or perhaps there's just something new that has been calling you that you want to tap into. You want to go for something, but because you have perhaps talked about it, thought about it, it's been kind of stewing, brewing in your mind, all of a sudden you have this resistance that is showing up. And resistance is really about our perception around it. Because I want you to imagine going for a walk in the woods on a trail. And imagine that trail hadn't been walked on for a while. And there was a spider web, across between two trees. and how easily it was for you to break through that, to walk through that and just keep on going. Well, really, that's what resistance is. Resistance is like a web, a thread from a web. But in our minds, we create resistance to a point that we see it as a steel cable. And dang, if you've ever tried to walk through a steel cable, you know that that isn't an easy feat, right? So when we see resistance as this steel cable, we continually try to break through, but we're really just not going anywhere. And then all of a sudden we have more blocks and we feel like we're stuck in the mud or we're running on that hamster wheel, and it just isn't serving us. Now, in between that thread and that steel cable is also what I call like those exercise bands, right? So that exercise band is almost like it's wrapped around your waist and perhaps like tied to two trees, and it allows you to move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward. And then all of a sudden you hit this big block of resistance, right? And then boom, like it slingshots you backwards. Well, it doesn't matter which way you perceive the resistance, one of the ways will serve you more powerfully. But from my own experience, like I perceived resistance more like the rubber band or the exercise bands. Like it was going, everything was good. And then I'd hit one piece of resistance and boom, it would catapult me backwards. And it was almost like it would take me like right out of my game. And it wasn't until I started just diving deeper and really exploring some different topics, really starting getting clear on what I wanted and where I wanted to go. That was when I started to almost cut that exercise band until it became more like a thread. Now, in complete transparency, is it always like a thread? Is it always like a cut exercise band? No, it is not. But here's what I've learned, that when it feels heavy, when it feels like the cable, when it feels like a brand new exercise band around my waist, I know that that is an opportunity for me to bring whatever it is up on stage and shine the light on it and expose it so that again, I can transform and transcend that energy into a higher vibrational energy level so that it does serve me in a more purposeful way. So today I want to share with you just 3 ways that perhaps resistance is showing up for you. Again, if it resonates with you and you sometimes are like, oh my gosh, I need to really think about this, grab a journal, grab something to get those thoughts out of your head and onto paper. Share it with a mentor, a coach. Share it in a tribe, a community where you feel safe. Do not, do not, do not, do not. If somebody that you know is not supportive, or if somebody is all about giving their opinion, do not share this with them, because that will almost take your steel cable in a sense and make it thicker. Okay, you have to find the right tribe, you have to find the right community, the right mentor, the right coach, so that you do feel safe in allowing somebody else in that auditorium with you to expose that whatever it is you brought up on stage and shining the spotlight on it. So the first one, okay, so when resistance calls, do you answer the call? You are answering the call of resistance if you have not truly made a decision. So think about whatever your goal is, whatever something new that you wanted to do, whatever you are wanting to redo, okay, a change that you're wanting to make. Have you truly made that decision to go for it? And when I say that, you make that decision and you want to declare it. Again, you want to declare it with people, with a tribe, with a coach, a mentor, whoever that are going to support you, that are willing to give you hands up, that are willing to be there for you to expose that light, expose whatever it is and shine the light on it. You don't need someone in your life when you are declaring a decision that is going to say, that's never going to work out for you. Didn't you try that last week and it didn't go very well? Why are you wanting to do that again? Right? Like you are just thickening your steel cable if that's what you are doing. So get honest with yourself. Have you truly made a decision? Within that, you have to realize that when you bring something else onto your plate, there's only so much room. And this becomes really important for moms, for women that have really a hard time saying no, okay? When you bring something else into your life that you want to expand, that you know is really meant for you, you have to be willing to ask for help. You have to be willing to take off the mask and ditch the cape. It's so, I'm not sure if disheartening is the word I want to use, but we as women are not superheroes. We are super women or super moms, but we're not superhero moms. We are not superhero women. We are not here to swoop in and save the day and make sure that everything else is right in the world before us. And that's the almost the unconscious belief that we are taking on when we call ourselves superheroes. Ask for help. A superhero generally does not ask for help because they've got all the power, right? They can save the day, they can save the world. But we're not superheroes. We are super, but we are not superheroes. So really get clear with, have you made that decision? And if you have, ask for help. There is no weakness in asking for help. There is more strength than there is weakness. Okay, so that's number one. When resistance calls, do you answer the call? Number one was, have you truly made that decision? Declare it, say it out loud, share it with people that really support you and your vision and your mission, and ask for help. Take off the mask, take off the cape, ditch it to the side, and ask for help. Okay? Number two, when resistance calls, do you answer the call? Number two is you answer the call when you are allowing the flow of excuses. So here you are, you've made this decision, you're going to commit to this decision, you're going to really honor yourself and take this to the next level, but all of a sudden, all this baggage starts to brew back up. And all of a sudden now we are living into the excuses of time and money and our kids, and judgments start to come up. We also start to use this disempowering language around it, meaning, I could never do that. See, this always happens to me. What was I thinking? Why did I ever think I could do that? Right? Like, and here's what I want you to know. Like, it's okay. We have all been there. I have been there. There are times where I still slip into this piece of allowing excuses to come forward, especially when it comes to procrastination, especially when I'm being stretched. I want to avoid, but I'm super aware now and I know what to look for. For me, avoidance is always making sure the house is all picked up before I can start something new. Not anymore. Sometimes my house is completely trashed. And you know what? I'm still doing the work. The other piece that we seem to allow or we use as an excuse is grace. And you might think, oh my gosh, like I thought grace was such a great thing. Well, grace is a beautiful space to be able to allow yourself to tap into only when you allow yourself grace and you up level and you move yourself into a higher level. When you say you are going to do something and you slip, which we all have, there's no judgment around that, but you give yourself grace and you repeat that pattern and you give yourself grace and you repeat that pattern and you give yourself grace and you keep now are in this cycle, this loop of not honoring yourself, but I'm going to give myself grace. Not honoring my goal, but I'm going to give myself grace. When you are in that loop, then you've used grace as an excuse. So get honest with yourself. Are you using grace as an excuse? And then we have this whole piece of really the flow of excuses is really a test to your commitment to your decision. The excuses are going to flow because that's your comfort zone. That is who you are. Your analytical, your egoic, your conscious mind does not want you to progress into a different space. It fears fear, right? It senses fear. You are doing something new. I don't know if you're going to be safe in that new environment. I don't know if you're going to be safe with that new goal. Why don't you just stay where you are? So the flow of excuses is essentially a test to your commitment to your decision. So really get clear on where are the excuses showing up. When resistance calls, notice now, are the excuses showing up more rapidly, more heavily? Do they have more strength behind them? Because your responsibility to become ultra aware so that you do not turn or you do not thicken that cable in any way. Okay, so that was number 3. Or excuse me, number 2. Number 1 was, have you really made that decision? Number 2 is you're allowing the flow of excuses. Number 3, when resistance calls, do you answer the call? The third way that resistance is showing up is through expectation. So you have to get really clear on whose expectation is that. If you are doing this for someone else, that is not your expectation. That is not really coming from a heart-centered place. It is their expectation, and someone else's expectation will always create resistance for you. So you have to get really clear on, what do I expect in terms of this goal? But let's do it from a place of becoming realistic. So let's say you started a new business and you want 5 figures in the next 5 weeks. Well, I'm not saying that possibility doesn't exist for you, but if you are brand new and you don't have the skills and you haven't worked on your internal blocks around something new, you really have to look at, does this expectation fulfill my growth? Or is it, again, almost like an excuse to keep me in resistance? And within this whole piece of expectation is also this piece of trusting. Are you willing to trust in the unknown? Are you willing to take a leap of faith? Where are these expectations coming from? Are you using this expectation to fulfill a need that wasn't fulfilled sometime in your life? If I do this, then this will happen, or then these people will, or again, it's almost like the excuse starts to bleed into the expectations. Now, I'm not sure what you are receiving from this, But here's what I do know. If you are triggered in any way, if you have looked at some of these and been like, nope, that's not me, or perhaps maybe you're even too close to even seeing it, be open to doing the work. Be open to looking at these and getting ultra clear and creating that awareness so when resistance does show up again, you're not answering the call. Resistance has a lot to teach us. There's a duality to everything. Resistance is neither good nor bad. But how can you use resistance to really up-level yourself and really step into a place of honoring the truest essence of who you are, of reconnecting with that heart-centered person that you are? So that wraps up the episode for today. I would love for you to drop a comment, to message me on Facebook. Let me know what resonates with you. And here's the thing. When you drop a comment or when you message me and let me know what was showing up for you, that is the first step in bringing it up on stage. That is the first step in starting to expose and shine the light on something that no longer serves you so that you can really step into a higher vibrational energy level and really bring those things to you that are made to make an impact. Now, I do have 2 other ways that resistance is showing up where you are answering the call. And number 4 and number 5 are ones that you definitely are going to want to dive deep into. If you'd like access to number 4 and number 5, check the description, check the show notes. I have done a training in my group, LeadHerShip CEOs. That link will take you right to that training. So you can fast forward through 1, 2, and 3 and pick up on 4 and 5. Again, check the description for that. And if you are a heart-centered woman who is ready to challenge the modern style of life and really create your vision, I don't care what size it is, and really start to tap into those expansive opportunities that await you, I invite you to join our tribe, join our community of LeadHerShip CEOs. Again, check the description for that link. We would love to have you. So until next week, I know that deep in your soul, you believe you were made for more. And I couldn't agree with you more. Go fly your ship because you were made for more. Period. Have an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Hey, it's Michelle. If you got value from this, I would be so grateful if you would share this message with a girlfriend, a teammate, a coworker, a neighbor, a sister, someone that is ready to lead her ship and become a creator of expansive opportunities. Because after all, you were made for more. We were made for more, and we're in this together. Fly your ship.